Good morning. What's something there? Something really nice there, like what I'm seeing. Hello, everyone. It's 8:30 on Thursday. Still kind of riding out this holiday week. 2 babies went to daycare today, so I'm able to work. I have to get edits. I think I've shared in my supporter group, but I haven't shared here. So my book, Forever Boy, it'll get re-released as a soft cover, because right now it's only a hard cover. So it gets re-released as a soft cover. And to try and generate excitement, they're having me write a extra chapter to put in there. So basically the chapter will be what's happened, because the book ended when Cooper was 10 and Winnie wasn't born yet. So Winnie, our daughter, just made the dedication. So I have to get those edits done. I'm kind of struggling. It's kind of hard to fit 2 years into a chapter. So I have to work on that today. And then we're just really, really behind in house stuff, like laundry, and we have a puppy that we haven't found a vet for, like that kind of stuff. Like we have to pick up a prescription for Harbor's ear infection, like all those little check things. So just trying really hard. And then on this weekend, I think we might bring Cooper, hey Teresa, to a Twins game. Our Miracle League, which I'm sure a lot of you have Miracle League, it's, oh, thank you, Dana. Our Miracle League is our adaptive baseball team. So they partner with the Minnesota Twins, which is our professional team. And they give tickets to families that have kids with disabilities that play Miracle League. So awesome, amazing. We have never brought Cooper for lots of reasons. Mostly the amount of people and then waiting in lines to get in. But I think if you follow us closely, you know that we are really, really trying to get Cooper into the community as much as he can, get him doing things, getting him to try new experiences. So my husband and I talked about it, and we're like, should we bring Cooper to the baseball game? He might get a kick out of it. And then you just have to go into it knowing we might last 5 minutes, we might last an hour. So our other son, Sawyer, who adores baseball, we said to him, do you want to go to the Twins game? And he was like, yeah, of course I do. And then we explained to him, we're like, we can bring you to another game where you can bring a buddy and stay the whole time. I was like, but we might not make it very long at this game. And that's part of the life that we live, having those discussions. Do you get a choice? Do you still want to come, even though we might leave early? So he's thinking about that. He hasn't told us what he wants to do yet. So Twins game, I'm nervous. We had such big success last week. I brought him to a 2-hour drive to an 1.5-hour train ride and then a 2-hour drive back. And he did so well, you guys. We had one little moment where the train was switching cars. Lori, driving separately is a good idea, except here's kind of the unique nuance about that. If Cooper gets overwhelmed and has a hard time, okay? If that happens, we don't know. Getting out of the Twins game and navigating, oh, hi Gwen, I'll check that out. Navigating the long walk to our car, which is going to be a long walk with really, really busy streets, cars, people drinking, all of it, right? We'll need 2 adults. I can say that for certain. And this is all an if, right? But I think as parents of kids with challenges, we really, really, really have to think of like all the elements, right? We just do. It's very smart to do that, to think about. So then maybe we bring another adult. You know, it's actually a good idea. Maybe we bring another adult and then Sawyer could stay. But we went to a train ride last week, and I'll tell you, I would never have dreamed to bring Cooper 2 hours by myself on an hour and a half train ride with a line and lots of people and chaos, right? But he's doing so great. Come on up, buddy. Have I told you guys when Cooper goes downstairs, he knocks and he comes back up and we have to like invite him back up? It's really funny. Hey, buddy. Cooper, can you go upstairs? Cooper, can you go upstairs and put some clothes on, please? And then we'll come back and we'll have a conversation about Christmas. Do you want to talk about a Christmas party? Okay, go upstairs. Yep, so what do we have to wear? A shirt, underwear, socks, and shorts, okay? Then come back and show me. Thank you. Melissa, I don't think he could fit in a wagon. I don't think so. I think Cooper's as tall as me. Cooper's a man. You know, one thing that I haven't really shared on here is we get asked why we don't have a stroller. So this is kind of like and I'm going to speak again on both sides of the fence here. This is kind of a sensitive topic in the, I will say, in the autism community. I guess I could be more general. I could say the disability community with kids. But it's also a topic that me and my husband have went over at length. So what I'm saying is there are strollers that we could get for Cooper. They're thousands of dollars. So just throwing that out there. So that's one factor. They're really big. They're really strong. They're really heavy duty because of his size, right? They're for adults. I have said for years, this conversation has come up so many times. Hi, Donna. Hi, Bit. With me and my husband. If we got a stroller, I think that we could do more things because Cooper would have a safe space. He could sit comfortably. He could pull the cover down. He could be in his own space. We could help him maneuver busy roads. So there's all these positives, right? There are challenges. It is hard to put an able-bodied person into a wheelchair stroller. Jamie's like, and we have talked about this, like he needs to learn to walk. He needs to be able to walk. He is able to walk, right? So there's all these elements. Like we want him to get exercise. We want him to be engaged. We want him to be in the world. We want him to see the world, right? That's the other side. So there's two sides. I think he would be safer in a stroller. I think he would be less engaged in a stroller. I think exercise is good. I think he would tune out in a stroller. There's so many elements of this. And we have not landed on an agreement, so we've never gotten one. Now, like tomorrow or Saturday, if we go to this Twins game, do I think that we would be more successful if we had it? Yes. Do I think it's necessarily the right thing? No. Isn't that, it's interesting. I don't have the right to see, people expect everyone to have the answers to things. I don't have it. I don't have the answer. Cooper has ridden when he was younger. Yep, I have argued both sides of this with my 7-year-old who's 85 pounds. Yes, it's a really complicated thing. When Cooper was younger, we actually went to a carnival, which was a huge, huge deal for our family. When he wasn't born yet, we just had Harbor and Sawyer. And when Cooper got overwhelmed, he sat in the stroller. He was way too big, but it was like a Bob stroller, so it was like big. He went and sat in it, and he pulled the thing, like the canopy down, and like it went, and he had his knees up, so like it went to his knees. And I firmly can say we made it way longer because he was able to check out and be in his own space, get out of the sun, kind of close off. But when he was out of the stroller, he rode the tilt-a-whirl. He walked. There's so many. Yes, the eloping part. So Kelly, that's why I wanted one. So I actually really tried. If you followed me long enough, you know that I tried to get Medicaid to give us a stroller. Spoiler alert, Jamie and I were divorced for a year. I very much lived as a single mom. Did not make money that allowed us to buy a stroller. So I worked with Medicaid to get one. And this is like the underbelly of Medicaid that a lot of people don't know about. I'm not going to go into it. Did you do it? No, stay over there. Here, I will help you with your shirt. We're both wearing Miracle League shirts. Hold on one second, I'll finish this story. Come here, bud. It's turned on the runway. Did you get dressed all by yourself? What are you, a teenager now? Good grief, boy. We're both wearing baseball shirts. Nice job, sweetheart. Oh, you want that tag off? Can you grab the scissors? Oh, grab the scissors and I'll cut it off. Dina, I feel weird even saying it. I feel weird saying it. But yeah, so oh, hold on one second. Cooper, put that down. Hold on one second. Put that down, sweetheart. Okay, let me help you. I don't know where the scissors are. Let me mommy get it. Should I just rip it? Here, come here. Oh, got it. You're welcome. Sorry, had a little cake. We're both wearing our baseball shirts. We're not playing baseball this week though. We don't have Miracle League till Monday. I love your shirt. I actually got peed on this morning and had a cup of coffee spilled on me this morning. I have changed clothes 3 times. And so for the 3rd time, I just grabbed a skirt, literally a skirt, and a Miracle League shirt out of the laundry basket because I have changed so many times. It's been one of those mornings. Being peed on is such a sucker punch. I fought Medicaid for a stroller. I said, I can't move this kid. He sits down in the middle of the road with me. We can't leave our house. I literally had I had a lawyer. So there's a thing called disability law. I'm not sure if you know about, they pretty much have them everywhere. So if you have a real serious issue with something like, Medicaid, your waivers, your county, you can work with disability law and it's free. And they're like, you are going to win this. You're going to get a stroller for your son. You're going to be able to leave your house. There was a hearing. I don't talk about this a lot because it was so mortifying. There was a hearing where they put a witness on a stand that knew autism that said that the only reason I wanted a stroller was so I could strap him and put him in a corner, and it was an excuse for poor parenting. And the lawyer that I had was like, have you ever met an autistic individual? And the other lawyer was like, no, just in my studies. And the argument for my lawyer was like, these kids can sit in the middle of the road, which Cooper has done numerous times. You can't move them. It's very dangerous. I lost. I didn't get it. And I said never. I said they wanted me to appeal, and I said I will never. Government, keep your strollers. I was like, I don't want one. It was so traumatic. Poor parent. It was an excuse for poor parenting. And I said, I was like, my son is so vocal and so communicative non-verbally, that he will never be put in a corner and ignored. Cooper is so, I'm really shocked how wealthy he is, and she got Medicaid to pay for a fence. I don't know what that means, Paula. Can you, are you talking about me? We had a fence put in when I was a single mom and could not afford it. But also no one, it's really not, you shouldn't look at it as wealth. You should look at it as parents who have children with disabilities have extreme costs and exorbitant costs, and they will for the rest of their life and their child's life. So waivers and Medicaid are put into place to keep, are put into place to keep these kids home. Does everyone know about like all of that? I mean, it's really quite fascinating. You know, for a long time, my husband and I did not want any help. Like, we didn't want anyone to know that we needed help. And then, then we got divorced, and I needed overhead lighting because Cooper broke light bulbs with his hands. I mean, I talk about this a lot in the public speaking that I do about how hard life was. And, I really dug into the waiver system and dug into Medicaid and the purpose of all of it, and what it is it's the closing of institutions so these parents can keep these kids home. So 50 years ago, a child like Cooper would be in an institution. I'd like to say that we would never have done that. I don't know. It was just the norm, right? That's what happened, and these kids were hidden away and they were separated from their families. And I have lost sleep thinking about what life would have been like for Cooper if that would have been his life. Like, he loves blankets and comfort and internet and warmth and hugs and friends, and it's just I have lost sleep, and I can't really go to that place because we're not there. So what happened was there was a big push to close all these institutions and keep these awesome kids home, right? But there are just exorbitant costs. There really are, from car seats to medical care to fences to alarms and locks, and we need these things to make our home safe. So that's where, and I could do a whole video on that. I did a lot of advocating for Medicaid when Cooper was younger. I don't talk about it much anymore. I guess one thing it's hard to talk about because every state's different. And I live in a really good state, so I don't ever want people to think like, oh, she's bragging about Medicaid. Well, we just live in a state where it's more available. Like, I know states like, I'm actually going to make this up because I don't know this stat, but like, I have a friend whose kid lives in Texas, and like, he'll get Medicaid when he's like 50. Well, he has a child with a disability. Like, hey, Murray. Here in Minnesota, every child with a disability, once qualified, gets Medicaid. The parents may have to pay for it. So Paula, it's so interesting because every state is different. I think it's Adrian in North Carolina, like every state is different. Here, parents pay for it if they have an income too high. So that also just changed too. We're very lucky we're in Minnesota. Yes, we are very lucky. We are. And actually, I was just talking to friends at Miracle League, and we're like, we will never move. And it's because we have such good services for our kids. Like, I look at like Florida that has that L's for Autism school. Like, I would love for Cooper to have that. We don't have anything like that here, but they don't have the Medicaid side. I think they have other like things, but here it's just so great. One soapbox thing is, please don't ever be embarrassed asking for help. It's hard. Please ask for help. Financially, it took us a long time, and like, we waited a long time to do it. And I do think Cooper's life would have been significantly different if we would have had services and supports earlier. One, we didn't know. Two, we were scared. We were embarrassed, right? Like, Why should we need help? Oh, Morgan, it's insane. I've heard Florida is the worst. Apparently Arizona and Minnesota are like the two best. Kristen, we've been told that too. It upsets me terribly too. You know, Amanda, that's interesting that you say Wisconsin is good, because I've heard a lot of people move from Wisconsin to Minnesota. Brenda, it's income-based here too. Wisconsin's great too, but the winters are so long. Same here. The other thing that I wanted to say, and so ask for help. Don't be embarrassed. What else was I gonna say? And ask for help now while your children are younger, and it will help them as they get to adulthood. That's another really important thing. I actually was going to do a live in my subscriber group about Social Security. I don't know much about it. I want to be clear, because we don't get it here for Cooper. But I was in Georgia, and so please know that do not take this as fact, because I might say it wrong, but I was in Georgia and I presented to like all the developmental disability and mental health caseworkers, that whole group of people. It was really interesting. And this wonderful lady came up to me after, and she was like, you need to apply for Social Security as soon as Cooper turns 18. And she's like, they're going to give you a very low amount because he lives with you. But then you need to go back and you need to explain that he's paying rent. And she's like telling me, she's like, if your 20-year-old child came back and lived with you, you would charge them rent, a couple $100 a month. She's like, it should be the same with our children with disabilities. And she was just telling me all these like insights that I had never thought about, right? So just sharing that, like, I know we don't want to immerse ourselves in the world of like guardianship and Social Security. It's icky, it's awful, but do it. And do it sooner. Start dabbling. I'm actually going to meet with my friend. Do you guys all follow Lessons from Liz or Lessons with Liz? That's my friend Carrie. And her daughter is a little older than Cooper and lives here. So I asked her, I'm like, would you want to get together and talk about, you know, the adult living situation? Because we don't like, hey, Brittany, hi, friend. Like, we don't know what we're going to do with, well, here's what I'll say. Cooper's going to live with us as long as it works. Other than that, we don't have any plans. So I asked Carrie, I'm like, do you want to get together? And like, that's like the new thing. Like a lot of parents are getting together and buying houses and, you know, making it work, because there are, the group home situation is I'm speaking very honestly, can be very terrifying when you have a child with disabilities, a child who's nonverbal. So there's parents that get together, like 4 sets of parents and 4 adult children, and buy a house and like make it work. Yes, Robin, message me. So, and I've been thinking about it more and more because, you know, Adrienne from Tales of an Educated Debutante, she's like, I don't want to force Amos, her son, to live in our life. I want him to have his own life. And it's just been like sitting right here. Like, I'm like, go away. Like, because I've always said my plan is to keep Cooper forever, you know? And I'm not going to be here forever. So walk this journey with me, right? Like, you don't have to have the answers. You don't have to know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. He's 12. We have time. Rachel, we should have like maybe we should talk about it at like one of the, I do a in-person support group or something. I don't know, like maybe we should just start talking about it. It's icky, but I'm healing in the ick. Yep. Well, group homes for one individual terrifies me even more, because then there's not someone to tell me if something's going on. It's so hard. Okay, so before I hop off, because I have to I have to do some work today. I have to work on my chapter, and I have to do some influencing stuff. But I want to talk about grief and joy. So stick with me if you wish. I have 4 kids. My kids are 12. That's Cooper. He is, his diagnosis on paper is level 3 severe nonverbal autism. That's what the state of Minnesota deems his diagnosis is. I have a 10-year-old. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So big gap in the middle, right? I also have a lot of clothes in the washer, which you can hear. I hear it too. Is that very loud? That's your blanket. Do you want me to check it out? Why don't you check it out? So, when Cooper was diagnosed with autism, of course it was an emotional roller coaster. That's very new. It's big, it's heavy. It wasn't a surprise. It was forever. It was all the things, right? We can say all of that. I did not deal with the emotions that went with it. I worked very hard to get to acceptance. So I thought, and if you read my book, this is in my book, I was like, acceptance is an island. And I'm going to do whatever I can to get there, and I'm going to plant my flag, right? Like and I can say to you with complete honesty, Cooper's exactly who he's supposed to be. He's exactly who he was born to be. There were no mistakes made. He's phenomenal. He's smart. He's funny. He's silly. He's naughty. He's a perfect human being. He's going to have this great life. And I'm there. I've grieved the words that I may never hear. I've grieved the driving the car, and it's all going to come up again. Grief is not linear. It just comes in waves, right? But I am in a phenomenal place. We have gathered our family around this boy. Cooper is the nucleus of our home, right? And we're like venturing out. Like, we're going to go to a Twins game. We went on a train. We're in such a great place. We figured out that our family can go boating together. We figured out PCAs, which are our care attendants that can help Cooper. So the rest of our family can do stuff. Turn it down, Cooper. Thank you, sir. Great, phenomenal space, right? I made a mistake. For 10 years, I was so focused on getting to acceptance that I never felt the feelings. I didn't want to. As someone just said, it was icky. I didn't want to be sad. I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be jealous. I didn't want to feel slighted. I didn't want all these emotions because they're not me. I am like ridiculously happy. It drives people crazy. I really am a positive person. So if something would happen, right? Like, let's just say yesterday, 2 days ago, we spent the day on the water, and with us was a 12-year-old girl who was Cooper's age. You guys, 12-year-old girls are like people that like have whole lives and cell phones and social circles and jobs and all these things. And I said to her, I'm like, how old are you? She's 12. And Cooper is watching Barney, and we're talking about his Christmas party that we're gonna have with 10 presents, and that's beautiful and wonderful. And I was like, I didn't know. I hide from 12, so I didn't know. And I felt sadness, and I felt hurt, and I felt I wanted to cry, and I felt all the things. And 2 years ago, me, Kate, would have shoved all that so far down and not felt it. So in the last 2 years, I have decided I'm going to feel all the feelings. I am going to feel all the feelings. I'm going to feel angry that we can't travel. and I'm going to feel frustrated that he can't talk. And I'm going to feel all the feelings, right? I'm going to just feel them all. I finally healed. I did. I healed. I stopped pretending. I started acknowledging. So I had to acknowledge some very real things to heal. I had to acknowledge that severe autism was forever. I had to acknowledge that it wasn't going away. I had to acknowledge a world where it may not get better or easier. I had to acknowledge that one day I'm going to leave and Cooper's going to have to live without me. So I'll tell you, I took about 6 months and I felt all the feelings. And I cried in the shower and I cried in the car. Cried while doing dishes. You know, I walked a walk with depression. I wasn't there, but I walked the walk. We held hands, we danced. And then I set it down. If I can encourage you to start feeling the feelings earlier, it's okay to feel the feelings. There's people on the internet and people in this world that will tell you that you shouldn't feel the feelings. Feel them. And then the new thing that I've realized, and this has just been in the last couple months, 6 months, and this will probably be what my next book is about. I always thought like you had to be one emotion. I know it sounds so stupid when I say it out loud, but I'm happy. I'm a happy person. Or I'm sad today. I didn't know that grief and joy can coexist and that neither is wrong. Yesterday, my 2-year-old came up to me and said, "I love you, Mommy." And I will tell you, it hit me like a freight train. How wonderful. She can talk, she can speak, she can say sentences, she can show love. All these parts, right? The one thing I want to hear from Cooper before I die is I love you. I want to hear it so bad. And grief and joy. I am so thankful and excited and ecstatic that my baby can talk. She can talk. She can physically talk. I am so sad that my 12-year-old cannot. Carrie, my friend Carrie calls it leapfrogging. You know, Winnie has leapfrogged Cooper in so many areas now. You know, right past. And I think it's, yes, my heart. Would you, so I want, eat. Okay, let me finish and I'll get you a snack. I want to feel both sides. I don't want to feel guilt for being sad that my son has never talked, because that wouldn't be human. I want to stay soft. I don't want to get hardened and angry. And that's what I see in so many people. Gosh, they're so angry, you guys. So angry at what they've been given, angry at their journey, angry at their path, angry at the world, angry at their life is harder. Like, I don't want to be that person. And I really have to work to not be. And how I got there was by hugging my daughter last night and saying, "I love you too. I'm so proud of you. You're getting so big." And then going and hugging Cooper and being like, "I love you. I love you, buddy. I love you so much," right? I love you just the way you are. I love you and I'm proud of you. And you're amazing. Don't feel guilt. That is the second part of the process. Acknowledge that grief and joy can coexist. Hard and good, amazing and sad. All these things. You can be 7,000 emotions at one time. You are leading a complicated life. I have a son who needs lifelong care. I have a son who's getting kicked out of school. I don't know what I'm doing. This is so hard. To deny that would be insane. Acknowledge the hard, right? But don't let it harden you. I did. And if I felt anything other than joy, I would be so angry at myself. I would talk to myself like, you are the worst. You're awful. Everybody hates you. You're the worst mom. Like, that's what I would say to myself in my head. If I was like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm heartbroken. Right? And I'll end with this. I had someone recently say to me, you act like your life is so perfect. That's what someone said to me. You act like your life is so perfect. And after I got over it, I sat down and I said to my husband, actually we were walking. We took the 2 little kids for a walk and a dog. And I said, for someone to look at me and think, she thinks her life is perfect, that is insane. Because I am heartbroken every day. Who is going to take care of this boy after I'm gone? I'm terrified every day. Every day I cry. I'm terrified. I have to leave him. And I don't want to. And the weight of that, not the burden, the weight of knowing. You can't imagine, unless you live it, what parents like me carry. So if you watch me and think, she is so happy, it's because I work every day from morning until night to be this way, to find the joy and find the good, because I am terrified. And maybe I don't share that enough. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I love that kid though, more than anything. And I'm trying to build a life that is good, that is safe. So, there's no perfection here. When you see me, just know I work so damn hard to be okay. So, thank you everyone for your compliments. I have to get Cooper, my Snoopy Joseph, a snack. He is hungry. I'm gonna hop into some writing. Everyone have a phenomenal day. This was a good discussion. Thanks for being here. Okay, and if you want more discussions like this, come join my supporter group. I'll put a link when we're done. If this touched you, I have conversations like this all the time in my supporter page. And there is a small fee, and I do that to keep it safe. So come join us. I'll put a link right when we're done. Okay, bye guys.